Hi, I don't mean to get dressed on camera, but I'm in a bit of a state today and I'm trying not to be bare-chested. So, there we go, I've got a vest on, yay, yay, yay. I'm in a real state today, real state. My mental health is basically, I'll give you a quick rundown before we get into what I'm trying to talk about. But essentially, my mental health is, I've got lots of little different physical health conditions, and what's happened is that today my mental health is taken them and is applying a lot of pressure to something that's really quite small in terms of physical health problem. And with the pressure, I'm unable to just snap out of whatever it's forcing me to look at. So like, if I've got a real bad hip, which I do, it will just keep me focused on that for like hours. Even though probably of itself is nothing. What that tells me, and I appreciate I'm speaking like a mess, but I'm going to speak however I speak, and it's going to come out however it's going to come out. I'm conscious within that, and we all speak English, right? So it keeps me locked on that. But what I suspect is happening is that I do have a physical health problem that is quite severe, and my mental health is actually helping me in some way by not showing me the actual problem and showing me something else, because as long as I can focus on something else, whatever's really wrong with me, it somehow makes it easier in a strange way. But essentially that's been my day today in the past few days. Hence I'm such a mess now, because since I'm such a mess now, because I can't deal with it. I should have passed out like a few days ago, but anyway. So I'm trying to shut up because I've been screaming quite a bit because it's getting late and I want to keep quiet for the neighbours. So I thought I'd do. I thought I'd make a video, and what came to mind to make a video of is Psychosis. You know, there's a few Psychosis storylines that I can air out, put out there into the open. Might make my life slightly easier, and maybe you'll get an insight to what it's like to have a mental health disorder. So right now, I've got this real annoying thing going on with my ear, and I don't know if any of you remember earlier this year, so I'm going to be shaking a bit because it's got to me, and just moving, it sort of, I don't know, it just allows me to function a little bit instead of shouting and screaming in rage. So I apologise if it's hard to watch, but this is life, and I'm sure you're all... Anyway, so where were we? My ear. Yeah, I mentioned before, I'm a self-diagnosed autistic, and I've got this issue with my ear today. It's actually been a little while now, but today it's just unbearable, and it might be what I said about my mental health trying to help me by hiding what's really wrong with me and showing me something else. my ear has just driven me insane. It's like it's knocked my head like this off my shoulders, and I've got another head or something here, and I can't put my head on my neck right. And it's really unpleasant, basically. But what it kind of links into, that I thought I'd try and share while I make my bolognese here, bolognese. Has anybody had bolognese lately? Is, as you can see, my mental health is really coming through. How bad it's got in terms of just random bollocks that comes out my mouth. But as I said, I'm still coherent within it, and all of these expressions. So, yeah, it links into something about Mary, that film with what's her name? Everyone's seen the film, everyone knows the film anyway. When Mary's brother has, I don't remember the actor's name, the male actor come round and he attempts to speak to Mary's brother, but because Mary's brother's autistic, and when the lead character, the lead male, lifts up Mary's brother's headphones to speak to him, very, very kindly, nothing abrupt or anything out of place, but obviously it's something that's to do with autistics, and he goes mad. And it's like that today for me. I want to stop laughing about how sick my life is. I want to stop laughing. And he goes mad, and it's a bit like that today for me. I don't know how much of it is psychosomatic, and how much of that film I'm using to just say, look, hey, spirituality, what the fuck are you doing to me today? I really can't take this sensation and pressure on my ear. I want my head to be straight on my shoulders, because that's how it's meant to be. And I've been shouting a lot, but I don't know how much of it I'm creating a problem with out of nothing, and how much of it is just pure discomfort. But either way, it's not pleasant. But it could just be my mental health. I could be lying to myself and lying to life, because, well, who knows? Sorry to be depressive in the way I'm speaking. I'm trying to do my best to I'm trying to do my best to get past the physical discomforts and the emotional the emotional backlog of today, to be able to express and hopefully calm down even more. So I appreciate it's probably going to be very unpleasant to watch this video. But yes, I thought I'd try and air out some Psychosis storylines as a subject matter. Sorry, I'm multitasking, as I said. So it's going to be audio mostly. Yeah, the other thing is Leonardo da Vinci. Sorry. Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci and his metamorphic man. What was it called? The man with the extra leg and arms that sticks out and is within a circle and a square. I can't. I'm being raped right now. My prostate. I know it's really hard to hear, but it's exactly the situation. Basically, I mentioned it the other day, it's like someone stuck a leg into my prostate, and every so often, it's like they hit a spot. And my energy goes, ooh! And being an energy practitioner, it's really not pleasant to experience. And I go a bit mad when I experience it, because I'm a virgin as well. So to have someone stick their foot and rape my prostate, being an energy practitioner, extra sensitive, it's a bit of a kick in the prostate. So Leonardo da Vinci, and his, I'm going to call him Metamorphic Man so I can move on and stop complaining about other things, hopefully, and calm down more and more, which is hopefully what you'll see of me do during the course of this video as they slowly remove their leg from my prostate. So Leonardo da Vinci and his Metamorphic Man, I have not much idea of what it was for, if I'm honest, but I do know he kind of ripped off somebody else, or at least modified it. There was another gentleman, exactly, he's raping me. He tends to do it when I speak, you know. It's really weird. When I speak and he doesn't like what I say, it kicks me a little bit more in the spot, and more my energy goes. It's maddening, man. I'm sorry, you can tell it's driven me mad. But it really does. When I speak and when I think, if it doesn't like what I'm thinking or speaking about, it seems to kick me at that particular time, and I'll have to shout at it, whatever it is. I just label it as spirituality, and if the doctors ask, it's my mental health. Because who's going to believe, anyway. Leonardo da Vinci, he basically ripped someone off. He absolutely ripped them off, made them poor and everything, homeless, left, right and centre. I was just testing it then, I don't know if that happened, but he ripped them off. Anyway, he took their work. Somebody else did the work first, and Leonardo da Vinci made it something else. Maybe he even paid them, I don't know the story, but I shouldn't have said ripped off. So, anyway, the other gentleman first, his stance was something akin to the feet being together, legs being together, and arms being straight out. Sorry, my shoulders are being beaten by spirituality, so I can't really hold my arms out. But if you hold your arms out straight and you have normal arms that spirituality doesn't destroy, you'll have an image of what this other gentleman's work looked like. And Leonardo da Vinci took that, and I can feel myself calming down, taking the piss a little bit, so hopefully I'm making someone laugh through my madness, because, well, I don't really care about anybody else, so, well, you might as well take it for a positive, innit? Why not? So, Leonardo da Vinci took that work and he developed it, made it something else, more accessible, I don't know. But I believe it incorporated energy. If I'm not mistaken, my memory is very selective and all over the place because I have a mental health disorder and can make stuff up, but I'm pretty sure that in whatever stance his actual legs and arms are, not anyway, there's a blue one, at least for his left leg, and I believe that's energy. I believe somehow he's incorporated, modified it, and with his wisdom and, whoa, whatever, reptilian heritage, because I think he's a reptilian, but I don't know that, but I think he is, but I don't know that. I think I've met his reincarnation too, I'm not sure. Either way, I believe he's incorporated it and intermixed energy within it. He must have known about energy. And the irony is, when I was about 12, 11, 13, something like that. I was at, it's all linked, this story, so I know I go off on tangents. But if you hold tight and just go with the madness, hopefully we'll come back, because we might not. We'll see. So, I went to a hardware shop with my grandparents, and me being me, the little egoic Cypriot kid, I was bored, and all I had was my sister there for company, and she's not much company. So what I had to do, I decided to show off. And there was a big roll of metal. Yeah, it was lead, but I didn't know it then, or at least don't think I knew it. And if I did, I definitely didn't know how heavy it was. So anyway, I tried to show off to my sister about how strong I was. And I went over to this ledge, and I went over to this roll of lead, and I tried to lift it up. A little Hercules. I'm really unwell. But this isn't any... I'm not complaining. This is my mental health, and this is just me managing. So I just wanted to acknowledge, I acknowledge myself as unwell. Because I appreciate a lot of you wouldn't have seen me like this before. And something has sort of snapped in my mind in the past few days. But as always, I am in control, and the worst I do is shout. So anyway, back to the story. Little Hercules went over to this roll of metal and tried to lift it up. He didn't have too many brain cells, this little Hercules. He tried to lift it up. I don't remember how, but it basically fell, and it fell onto my leg. And on my inner thigh, it just cut it open. And if any of you are sensitive or squeamish, you might want to just mute it now for like the next... Well, if you're squeamish or anything like that, you shouldn't be watching me, so I'm not going to... And it cut open the inside of my leg, and I just started convulsing. I didn't shout. It was like I went red all over. My energy went red, and I just started convulsing like that. And later that night, I was in a lot of pain. I can't remember if I had painkillers or anything, but my grandparents strapped it up, just with like whatever. And I went to the football with my dad. I was meant to go to the football, and I didn't want to go. And my dad convinced me to go. Still go. And I made him promise me he'd buy me a hamburger before the match, at half-time and after. That was the deal. And I went. He was a bit surprised when I actually made him buy me the hamburgers. I think one ended up being a pie instead of a hamburger, but I forgave him. But I went, and through the pain, I just distracted myself and I watched the football. Well, not that I really watched the football, but anyway, what I'm trying to get at is that I know that really damaged certain nerve endings on the inside of my leg. And likely, almost certainly, has affected my ability to walk normally. Not only that, it's probably, I really do put myself down on the video, but it's probably the reason I'm still a virgin, given that I've stated before that it's a bit embarrassing. I have certain malfunctioning hardware, and I think it's because of that. So, what I'm trying to get at is later in life, I've lived a good, clean life once I hit my 20s, became an energy practitioner, and not only that, but on top of that, I had a Kundalini awakening around the same time. And I've always questioned, given that I somewhat believe I've met his reincarnation, given that, well, my leg is actually now functioning by life, not like anyone's done anything to me. Did Leonardo da Vinci foresee or predict that life would instigate this into an individual and make a drawing of it, of how to modify the original pose for a disabled person? So, I don't know, but anyway, my psychosis plays on this story and it's very egoic, but with whatever snapped in the past few days, it doesn't really matter, does it, to share this, but I admit it's not something I would ordinarily share. So there you go, you're all lucky tuning in today. You're seeing a different side of Andreas. You might not ever get to see again. So that's one psychosis story gone. What else can we share? What else can we share? Come on, send me something on the etheric waves of what you're thinking, and I can see what I can tap into the craziness that is my life and offer back. There's plenty of craziness, don't worry, so I just need to calm down a bit and I'll think of another one for you. Let's just pick a subject matter then. I'll diverge a bit. So what, in fact, has half led to this madness that you see in front of you now, and the way I'm presenting, and for all intensive purposes, it may continue, and there's a strong possibility it might continue this way. I might continue this way. The reason being is that I've mentioned recently, for the first time in my life, I feel like I've found something I can offer and be of service of in this world. But for the first time, it's kind of like makes sense. So for those of you that don't know, I've been a back office clearing broker. My mental health is trying to force a euphemism on me, but I just don't ever do them. A back office clearing broker works in a financial institution, and when a trade is made on the stock exchange, most of them are automated and they go straight into the correct accounts. And the ones that have problems, they come to us and we have to find them homes. And that was what a back office clearing broker is. But I went there from college wasn't qualified with the idea of training. I've worked in retail. With retail, it makes my skin crawl, you know? It's like everything I see bad in the world, I'm there selling it. It's not really what I see as an appropriate place to work in terms of my own psyche. As much as I was very good at it, I should say. I've done a few other jobs, alternative therapist, but I've never really practiced long enough. I was never practicing long enough. But it's always been there in the background, and I've continued the learning to a certain extent, applying what I have already known, so energy, physicality, body, blah, blah, blah. And that's my interest. So as I've lived life, that repertoire has grown over the years. I might start crying because I'm putting chilies into the bolognese, and well, we know what can sometimes happen. I can get emotional, I can start crying, you know. So I've been an alternative therapist, but I never really practiced. I've tried to run a raw food cafe, and well, for those that don't know, it was about as successful as, I don't really do analogies well. I've improved actually, but it didn't go well, let's just say that, financially. Made a lot of friends, fantastic experience, would still do it even if it was still the same outcome, but for what it was, a business venture, it wasn't good. So what I'm trying to get at is I've sort of rushed over the years, or sort of found myself in jobs because of circumstance. And the closest I've got so far was working in a house shop. Twice. First time, I got a mental health disorder and I had to really leave. The second time, my mental health disorder came back and I had to leave. So as much as I would have seen that as the ideal job, given my life up until that point, of what I was capable of as Andreas Dimitri, it's only now that I'm finding something else again, and it's not retail. So I'm hoping my mental health will forgive me this time by claiming I found something I could do, where it normally beats the crap out of me with, unless I don't like it. Weird, isn't it? So, what it is, I didn't expect to share this, and my mental health, or circumstance, should I say, has led me to share it. And what I'm thinking is of repackaging myself as a kind of urban crazy shaman, you know. I try and take lessons from my mental health, so I try and take a teaching from it, even though it might just be a total beating. And I know I've read articles before where I think it's the African traditions, or at least this African tradition, and they're kicking me in my prostate again because I don't like what I'm saying. I think it's from I think it was an African shaman, and he stated that mental health disorder is just a spiritual initiation. So that stayed with me, and given my alternative health training background and awareness of that element, and me really stepping back into it over the past year, trying to heal myself, obviously this time coming from a different perspective with a mental health disorder, on my shoulder, on my hip, in my back, in my mind, in my heart, in my belly. I've come at it with a slightly more balls to the wall attitude, and I wouldn't ever class myself as a shaman because I don't know, and from my understanding, a shaman knows. So So I would class myself as a shaman in training, and even more accurately, given all these videos, I'd class myself as a shame man. So that's what I'm thinking. But the truth is, I can't. Because I don't like any of you. I don't like any of you. And I'm being absolutely serious. Not that I don't like any of you, but I don't trust any of you. And because I'm so emotionally a wreck, I don't want to put myself there in a therapy session trying to heal someone where, because of my weakness, I might get a beating. And I know it sounds a bit weird, that situation, but that's exactly how my mental health is at present, and has been for the last, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 10 years. It's been there since my mental health started. But I've got really clear that it's not just my family, it's not just the system, it's not just my friends, it's pretty much every human alive. I don't know about the children, if I'm honest, but some information I've had about spirituality is that the children coming in now are aware, they're awake, where I'm asleep, or I'm an idiot. So the children are somehow awake, or there's that strong possibility. So I can't really work with humans, and I can't work with children either. So I've got nature, I've got, and they're kicking me in my prostate again. It's like, leave me alone, man. What are you getting out of it? I sound like DT from Arsenal Fan TV, which is another psychosis I'm not even going to bother going into. Anyway. But I do have one element that I could work with, and that is disabled people. I've got to work out exactly how I can work with disabled people and what disabled people I could work with. But I know if you've been disabled from birth, that pretty much rules you out of me being scared of you. Or at least, if you're, is it incapacitated, where your mind isn't normal, isn't mad like me, but is more like, it doesn't connect to the world like we do. And those are the disabled people I'd really like to work with. Those are the ones I wouldn't deal with. And within that environment, I can revert to how I was when I gave therapy sessions. And within my therapy sessions, I had to, and they're really just, what is it, man? What do you want to do with my prostate? Just take your foot out. At least for the video, then you stick it back. I don't speak to myself like this. It's all for camera. But I've gone mad, It's just like, I know what's going on. I know you know what's going on. But I don't really know what's going on other than some energetic foot in my prostate. And why? Whereas you probably do. And this is why I get annoyed at you lot. And I don't like you lot. Because you don't tell me. And this is why, if any aggression has ever come across on video, it's because of this. I'll state what I'm going through. And you can see I'm an idiot. You can see I don't have a clue as to why. And I'm almost certain you lot do, and you just stay stum. I haven't had one explanation. But that's just showing you my thinking. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm not asking for anything. But yeah, I mean, I've got a disabled cousin, and he isn't able to think, but So I have that experience of being within the environment of at least the disabled person that is my cousin. My mum used to work with disabled people, disabled school. She was a teaching assistant. So that all kind of makes sense to me. You know, it's like, why give me a disabled cousin and a mother who's worked with disabled people, and then take away the rest of humanity from me without it meant to be something. But within the context of a therapy session, which I can't give to anybody that can think, I go someplace, you know. It's not someplace like here. It's someplace like the level. Oh God! And they seem to have pulled my prostate out and wrapped it around my shoulders, so it comes up all the way to my shoulders and my head. So when I work within a therapy session, I go someplace. I'm very, very sincere. I'm very present, very empathic to the other individual, and I feel like I can connect with people when if they don't have the sickness that we do, the ability to think, you know. I'm being serious there. That's my genuine view of the mind is ill. The mind is ill. That's the long and short of my viewpoint on the mind. My mind and your mind. Even though you don't have a mental health disorder. So, within the space of a therapy session, I can connect to a person again on a different level that I haven't done so for many years. And in that space, it's like it removes all of this drama, removes all of the me, it removes all of the putting my prostate because I'm doing something someone else doesn't agree with. Because I'm doing something good. And I don't know, it's just like, how much of your leg is in my prostate, man? Why don't you stick something else in there? The broom there. Got a massage gun here. Doesn't like that. I'm half spiritual, psychic, and I'm half mentally ill. So depending if it's a doctor or one of my spiritual friends, I'm trying to put the same message out there and make it accessible to both of you. And obviously the other ignorance, the rest that aren't spiritual and aren't doctors. Okay, so within the space of a therapy session, I can connect to someone in a way where I'm of service without getting anything for myself. And I wish that again, you know? I remove this madness, the pressure of my life for 45 minutes an hour. And just being able to do that, given my life, will be a reward in itself. So I don't think I'll even look for payment, given how much I'll be getting just by doing something good. So it really is, for the first time, that situation. I've never been able to offer that, you know? I've never agreed, when I was working as a therapist, to charging for healing. Because I don't heal, man. I don't ever. Oh, it doesn't like that either, man. I can't say a thing. I am not a healer. I'm an excuse. That's what it essentially boils down to. I'm an excuse because we all heal ourselves if we have a mind. And you either allow yourself to heal or you don't. And that's the crux of it. And if you come to me on that day because you've allowed yourself to heal, and you pay me £50 or whatever for a therapy session, and I wave my magic hands over you, and you walk away without a broken leg, it's because you healed your own leg, innit? I didn't do a thing. I just was an excuse for an hour. And I don't like being an excuse. But with a disabled person, I've just realised if I'm talking to, and this is helping. I don't know if you can see, I am slightly coming back into my body after being upstairs for the last half hour. With a disabled person, if they are genuinely unable to think, then that is the place where I can be a healer. With nature doesn't need me. With animals, what animals am I talking about? The ones that are wild? They don't need me. I'm talking about the ones that are locked up in zoos, are pets, blah, blah, blah. So they can be healed. And for the first time in, 15 years since I started my training, something makes sense. And I've just, oh man, I think they're taking it out slowly. And what's happening is the vibrations are just, they're a bit different now. Garlic, it's really good for psychosis if anybody wants some. And onions. I don't notice it anymore. Whatever I do, I don't do, it's there. So I sort of give up and it's just like my body. So I don't really eat onions because of my digestion. For the first time, something makes sense, and I've just realised it on camera. It's another element that makes sense. But the way my mental health and psychosis have beaten me, and the way I interact with my life, if they don't ease up, I'm going to just say, well, it's just another idea, like everything else. I'm going to continue talking because they've given me verbal diarrhoea. I've given myself verbal diarrhoea to try and deal with it in a more positive way instead of getting so stressed. Deadpool-like, you know? You're getting shot, you're getting killed, your arm's getting chopped off, your legs are getting dismantled, and you're laughing and telling jokes. In third person like I am, but I'm blue and not red. That's another psychosis. All these films, superheroes, it's just another way to tell a story that of the situation. So right now, I'm experiencing Deadpool the movie. That's what it is. On an energetic consciousness level, that's what I'm experiencing. And because I'm so weak, I've surrendered to it for the first time. It's been pressured for a few years now, and I've always resisted. But like you can see, if ever it was appropriate in my life, now's the time. I'm still listening. I can't hear you. Come on, send me the messages. What do you wanna hear? Yeah, I realised earlier today I'm going through crow therapy again. But crow therapy is a Red Indian practice as far as I'm aware. Very, very unpleasant experience. Very unpleasant. Let's just say we have 5 fingers and, well, like one finger could be split in two and then wrapped around, and oh, when you know energy and you feel energy, if your arms go all a bit weird like mine. I'm a bit exhausted. Yeah. So I need to continue talking for about another 10-15 minutes because I can see how it's helping, even if you can't. And I'm hoping to get the most out of that. Got what are they called? The curtain nets for the door that I can hang up, and hopefully you'll see them there next time. Yeah, that boat is still available on eBay. I considered purchasing it myself, but it's just a bit too much out of my budget. But I contacted them, and the hull seems to be relatively good condition. You know, it was updated a few years back. It sounds like a reconditioned engine, like they've got a used brand new engine basically, ready to go. It just needs to be installed, and then the boat needs to be put in water and you're off. But because it's on land, if you really wanted, you could take it anywhere in the country: London, Brighton, Glasgow, Paris. And yeah, for like, if you really did want to take it to London, bring it to London, for like 40 grand, maybe a few pennies more, you got yourself a massive, lovely home where you don't have council tax and idiots like me screaming next door. And if you do, what you do is you turn the engine on and you drive like half a mile down the road. But yes, no, that boat, I would have gone for it myself, but I'm unable to. The figure is, as I said, it's listed for about 35,000, and you need to have the engine installed, so paying someone maybe 2,000. And because it's so large, you possibly take the best part of 3 grand to move it. It needs to pass its test, that's only, it's not nothing, and you're ready to go. So you're talking about 40 grand, and you've got yourself an 80-foot. Alright, it's not luxury, but it has pretty much everything you would need, and it'd be yours. Not only that, when the floods come, because they're due, when the floods come, what happens is when it rains, the boat just stays on top of the water and you don't sink, so you're safe. You've got a free ticket to the next 50 years, where the rest of us are going to go for a swim. But I'm planning to buy and renovate my own boats at a more affordable cost. I already have like half the materials, so it just makes sense for me to do it this way. Don't want to pressure myself, financially, given my mental health. But yeah, if anybody's interested, send me an email and I'll reply with the link or their contact details. So psychosis. I've got a really big, I've been having a spiritual download for about a year now, since I met a reptilian. And my body's fallen to bits, and it feels like I'm dying on a daily basis. And maybe that's the state you want to be in to receive all this information, because I've never had it like this before. I've always had to work at it, I've gone piece by piece. Every little bit of information I get, I think about it, I put it in a puzzle collective, really, really feel into it. Whereas the past year, the information's just been flowing, and it's taken the groundwork which I've already done myself over the past, and it's just like taking it and gone to outer space and edge of the universe and beyond. So when I can, I share little bits with you, but they're all little stories that aren't really truth in their entirety, but within it there's truth to whatever downloads I'm getting. And at the right time, I hope to share with you a more comprehensive picture of at least whatever this year has been trying to show me, and present a more comprehensive story of humanity and our collective history. And so far I need to piece in the giants, because there are about 3 different giant races that have come to my awareness. The Yellow Tribe, and there's Thetans. Oh, I had a big positive connection. Like, I've been they're in my prostate again, man. They don't like me talking about this stuff. So Thetans, they're an alien race, and I've given a lot of energy over the past few months, really trying to think alongside the information that's been coming in, what's truth, what's not. And I had a big link the other day come through, and it was like a huge relief. Like, the amount of energy I've given thinking about Thetans, it was really rewarding to see that link. But yeah, there's lots there. I'm struggling to think of any more psychosis I can share. I've sort of worn myself out a bit, which is a good thing. I'll spare you all any more. Time having to look at me, and hopefully I just won't go back to shouting.